Every time I wake up, it's you, darling, it's you. Every time I close my eyes, it's you, baby, it's you. You that I dream of, you that I miss, you that I want to so badly kiss. Will you ever look at me the way that I see? It could be magic, we live on the sea, with nothing to worry, just you and me. Let's live like we're free, so take my hand, we'll run through the fields, oh ever so green. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Every time I wake up, it's you, darling, it's you. Every time I close my eyes, it's you, baby, it's you, baby, it's you.
That's interesting. How does that happen? Good morning, grasshoppers. I think that when I put my earbud in, it takes over the, good morning, Eric, yes. It takes over the speaker because it also has a microphone in it? I don't know. And then the Streamlabs goes to default. They should join the tournament to steal my points. Haha. I haven't checked to see what else is going on, but I'm happy that Super Suri is here. Eric Hito is here. Namaste. Irina just in time for the next round. You may join the Master Chess Dojo top link for the event. Arena, the most popular command. I think everyone can still get in. And now, what happened to my transparent board? This board, it looks too much like the cheese.com board to me. Just to differentiate that we are an independent channel. We're continuing to work on our E4 repertoire. We have a new chess informant. Yeah, the top link, Master Chess Dojo in the events. The Master Chess Dojo for Weekday Blitz. Kazian. Alright, well, I always like D4. Not that I'm avoiding the Stafford Gambit, which is completely unsound, but only because I just like to develop my pieces. And I like to fight for the center. Whoa! How did I know that there was a Stafford Gambit in the works? Let's go for a positional advantage. I don't know if my opponent knows that he can't get castled, or if let's just keep tagging. Keep centralizing. Now, can that pawn be defended? Fork? We are attacking two different pawns. Is my knight going to be trapped? My knight could be trapped in that position. So let's not go all in. Let's just keep his knight restricted just a wee bit. Let's tag. Tag and improve. Tag and improve. Where did my opponent go? Good morning, Irina. Thank you for the raid. If you're not already following It's Arena Chan, she is one of the newest streamers on the block. Whoa. I'll check. Hold on. Let's just check my I unlocked a founder badge for It's Arena Chan's channel. We should be celebrating It's Arena Chan's Bullet Arena. It's Arena Chan's newfound affiliate status. I think my opponent left. He really is disconnected. So yesterday, I had 39 parent-teacher conferences. It was insane. 39 parent-teacher conferences. Outrageous. Now, if Kazian is not really in the tournament, let's just check this out. The only way to bump him out so someone doesn't not get a game, to kick him out of the team. Dylan is the best. It's possible that he had to go to school. It's possible that he had to go to bed. I'm willing to forgive everything as far as not being able to. Yeah, I saw that, Alex Ongo. Because, actually, Arena, you have a habit as well that flags these bots, so you have to be careful. When you're skipping in and out of your game onto other tabs. Tapa's new chess, good morning. Here we go. We're going to play this opening again from the other side of the board. Now for Arena Chan, I would suggest you too, Tapas new. Nice. Katejoaheyo. I mean, obviously I trust the Lead Chess interface. Absolutely I do. I think Bishop E7 is the primary one. Let's go for it this way. And now, are we losing our bishop pair if I'm not careful? Waheyo, katejoaheyo. Yeah. Perfectly acceptable here. I'm going this way. Definitely going this way. And now for something completely irrelevant. That is a little bit of a bother positionally. Can we take advantage of this pin? I think not. Oh, I see. That's a nice double, triple attack. So I have to go this manner first and that manner second. She definitely has me here. That much is true. Let's run for it. Let us run for it and try to tie the old kangaroo down sport. We're just going to pretend like nothing's happening. Yes. Interesting. So why are we freeing up everything now? So it's an exchange sack. What kind of an exchange sack is it? Check, back. Is it a good exchange sack? That is the question. Check, check. Looks like a good exchange sack. Pizzerina Chan is extremely dangerous. Now we seem to be tied down appropriately. Is that a threat? It does look like a threat. So therefore we need some pressure on the back rank. Pressure on the back rank, folks. Nothing like a little pressure. Indeed. And now for something completely different. The old desperado. Oh, and she wants to trade queens. How did that go south? Oh yeah, bishop to b6 was a little overly ambitious, tying down your queen to the bishop and the pin. You focused on one weakness. You focused on one weakness almost too much. I cannot wait. Because it's not really lessons that you need. It is a bit of coaching and a certain amount of training. So there are teachers, that's where lessons come in. And there are coaches for strong players. And then there are trainers, just to put you in the right direction to be able to make the most of your game. And so far, she's proved very elusive on the training and coaching front. Yeah, I'm a big fan of fireworks. You can never have enough fireworks. Uh-oh, this is a dead lost endgame for Super 3. Zephyr got a pass the first round with an opponent that didn't show up. Usually when I think I'm getting out on an odd number, I think I'm doing everyone a favor, but then someone doesn't show up. Interestingly enough, we pick up a couple of new members every day. We're at 2940 in the dojo. Stream is glitching out. No! Is this true for everyone? Sometimes, I believe, depending on the default browser that you're using, it says Midlands Internet. Just Chris. Our cargo. Yeah, I did not report Lynn for cheating. I did ask them to check out my first round opponent. H5. Perfect. H5 versus to me, queen to b6 is the next logical move in that particular setup. By the way, we'll leave that weakness for later. And now for something completely different. Was G4 an option before? I lost a bit of time there. It's true that I lost a bit of time. Can we obtain the bishop pair here? I don't know. This looks like a lovely square for my knight, though. I do have quite a number of weaknesses, so I have to be a little bit careful. Just a little bit careful. Well, that's interesting. Was not expecting that. Yes. And for something completely different. What else do we have? He sacked a piece. We're giving a piece. 2 pieces for a rook? No, that's just an exchange, right? Isn't that just an exchange? We need the open file, folks. We do. We need the open file. Do I want to? Have we checkmated his queen? Not yet. We've not yet checkmated his queen. Knight. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drain. What is this? It's the second time in this position. I need to change up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And now for something completely different. Should we return the exchange? I don't know. I don't know. Let's just pretend like we can obtain something here. Let's pretend like we have a plan. How about that? Pretending like we have a plan is better than not pretending at all. Quadraspassky. Chris, I'm not reading chat until I win this. All right, fair enough. How many more checks does he have? How many more checks does he have? How many more tricks are up our sleeve? Go to this side. And then this side. Perfect square with opposition. This is a true test of our rating system. The question mark next to his name is no longer there, or is it? Can't tell. He has no longer got a question mark. He needed somebody good to play against, and now he's got it. Just to validate his rating. He's a pretty good player. No, I think name drop would be awesome. I'm going to replace the water drop with the name drop. But aside from that, I mean, I don't have any emote slots available. I mean, unless we brush up the ones that we already have. I'm trying to think if the laughter emote is laughter enough. The hysterical emote. Like, it's my laugh, definitely my laugh, but it's not necessarily a laugh that's in... Is he a good player? Well, he's obviously got a good provisional rating, but I just checked out his profile and the question mark is gone. So when this refreshes, such as the wall chart does not necessarily refresh until the round is over. So for example, I gained rating points from that one. Looks like I gained 8 rating points. And his rating settled on 2050... 2232, I guess is right. 2230, right? With no question mark. He's played 32 games, and he finally played a good player. Question mark is not necessarily a new account, but it means that they are playing Blitz for the first time. It means that they're playing that rating category. So I've had a lot of players who've only played Rapid or only played Bullet come into the dojo and they have question marks. So it's their first time with that particular rating category. Like, a lot of people don't play Increment or don't play Rapid or don't play Blitz. And my assertion here for everyone involved is that you need to play with a small amount of increment in order to get a real chess game. You get a real chess game, you don't lose on time, you have fewer dirty flags, you just basically have to win. So when Arena's playing 3-0, it pains me. I can't watch. I honestly, it pains me greatly. So in this particular position, with A3 in, I would be playing the Scotch without knight to C3 necessarily, because Queen H4 would be good. Right? Queen H5 could be good because I no longer have any knight to B5. I no longer have any funny business on the C2 square. So I'm trying to think of how they could have... Probably they could have done A3 without knight C3. If they did A3 without knight C3, I could have been in trouble. So this is a standard Scotch Gambit reversed up until that move. right up until that move. B takes c3 was logical and good. Absolutely nothing wrong with that position after B takes c3. Now white's queenside pawns are crippled. My queenside pawns could be crippled, but I have 4-3 on the uncrippled king side. Anything less than 90 minutes is a sign of splits indeed. I had that happen. We actually had an all-girls tournament where at least one coach was commenting that can I get away with this? It looks like I can get away with this. I don't really want to give up the bishop pair. I'm going to relocate my knight to the center. And I have to give up the bishop pair. Which is unfortunate, since I have a dark squared bishop. Wow. I was really in trouble. I was really in trouble on any rook to d1, to be honest. Any rook to d1 would have been bad for me. Is that bishop on vacation? It appears so. All right, moment of truth. Preparing the pin. Are we in? I have to think about this. Are we in? Knight e6. Is knight e6 in my future? I don't think so. I don't want to undouble him for any reason. Yes. Well, that's interesting. I am losing, but how badly am I losing? First things first. Capture. We need to take care of that business. And that business. Bishop e6 could have been a good move. Am I really in trouble here? Probably. Not sure why I'm playing on, to tell you the truth. I'm truly not certain why I'm playing on. Zephyr has me. Knight to g5 check. What a lemon. What a lemon. One hasty move. That was 3-0 at its finest. That was a 3-0 move at its finest. Terrible. Absolutely atrocious. So how great was my advantage here? So in this particular position, bishop takes f3 check would have been ideal. And then castling check would be ideal. I think that would have been a bit more than I did. And then knight e7, and I just had to win a piece. Oh, silly me. Winning a piece. A little bit more thought. King e2. Taking advantage of the pin. That one has to go into my book. Well, no, you're playing blitz. I mean, you're playing, basically, you're not, I'm not saying you're not playing real chess. You're using chess to play with the clock. And I'll say it again, you're using chess to play with the clock. Ugh. And now after knight e7, I had a perfectly level game here. Knight f5. Knight f5. Just need to see something here. c5. I imagine that the bishop is trapped. So I think knight d6 is the way to go. Yeah, knight d6, bishop a4, b6. Yep, that was what I didn't see. I think I'm going to add this one to the playlist again. If this one does not get flagged for copyright protection, this one can be definitely played again. I would like to hear this one more often. No, of course you're playing chess, but the old days chess is long behind us. So to finish my story with Irina Chan, basically we changed an all-girls tournament for these coaches. We did. I can't believe I stayed on the podium with such a horrid score, playing only 3 games. And so therefore we changed the time control for the tournament for game 90 and game 60 in the top section and then lesser sections. And we had set round times on a weekend. So literally the girls are tooling about the park, wandering all over the city between rounds because their games are only taking 25 minutes. They don't know how to use, the young girls anyway, lower than the top section, did not know how to use a full 60 minutes. That the coaches would not send them unless they had 60 minutes. Meanwhile, when you leave the chess tournament, and you leave the chess playing area, basically then you tune out, then you have to come back and you have to play chess, and in reality you'd rather be somewhere else when you have such a beautiful day, especially if it's nice weather or something like that. It's very hard to go back in and play chess. Unless you're already a very good chess player, then you know that you're back for real chess. You're back to play chess, and then you take care of business, right? So therefore, it is unfortunate that they just didn't make the most out of it. And it was a tremendous waste of a day to a great extent, because should we have made it game 30, it would have been over in half a day. Another parent complained that the rounds were too long, and I agree that the girls could have even had lessons in the afternoon reviewing their games. And my next pretensive question was, if they get under 60 minutes for the top girls, right? And if they get under 30 minutes, do they stop playing because now they're playing 30-minute chess? Right? Their clock has less than 30 minutes, so if your clock goes under 30 minutes, are you not allowed to play chess anymore? Not allowed to play game 30? It's tricky, right? I don't know. There's no pleasing everyone. There's certainly no pleasing everyone all the time. What can you do, right? So I agree with Irina that you can have too much time. I don't remember who she was playing 15-minute yesterday, but then she switched to 3-minute. But having a little bit of an increment makes you responsible for your moves. I have many favorite players in succession. My favorite current chess player has returned to Alekhine. Alekhine was the most dynamic, professional, universal player that we've had among the pre-FIDE world champions. So originally, when I first started out, my favorite world champion, yeah, you can't play one long game on a stream, that's true. Are you talking of which chess player about the 3 minutes playing? Oh, if you have not studied Alekhine, John Nunn has a book on NUNN on his best games. And if you go through that book cover to cover, you're certain to gain 100 rating points in strength, easy. Maybe more, depending on what gaps needed to be filled in. But he could play any opening, any time. He is prolific, but he does not write the book on Alekhine's best games. What he does is, Alexa, turn on Dojo. He takes these two books. These are the two books that I found. I got these for about 25 cents each when I was very young, not these exact copies, because these are in good particular shape. I wore out my copies and my copies fell apart, and I later sold them. But this is Alekhine's best games of chess from 1908 to 1923, and then his best games of chess from 1924 to 1932. And there's another really great book on Alekhine all these books are written by Alekhine. So what John Nunn did, because these books were in descriptive, is that he took Alekhine's best games and he edited it. So he basically kept all of Alekhine's notes and turned it into one volume from both books. No, but there's a one-volume edition by John Nunn, 120 of the best games from those two books. So he uses all of Alekhine's notes. If Alekhine's estate is still collecting the residuals from this, then I'm certain that they've gotten credit for this book, as he was the author, and John Nunn is the editor. In fact, nowhere on here does it really say John Nunn. This is a Henry Holt book, now called Everyman. Previously it was Bats for Chess, then it evolved to Henry Holt and publishing, and now it is Everyman Chess. So they should really be coming out with another volume of this, or redoing this volume. And I mean, I've been through this book quite a bit. I've used this for lessons because it's easier to carry than the 2 volumes of descriptive notation. But the games are priceless, they really are. There's just no substitute for Alekhine. Now for something completely different. Basically, I do believe in the versatility of chess, so you can play almost anything. Let's look at my game with Irina for a moment. So, for example, I played this opening now 3 times against Irina. She's playing it slightly better each time. I don't remember what she did last time, but it was a complete jettison because she tried to avoid the main line somehow. The Cochrane gambit that I really love is knight takes f7. It may appear so good for black, but it's not that easy. I played this numerous times, most of the time against very young opponents. Did you win last time? That's possible. Let's take a quick peek. My score, so if you hover over your name in Lead Chess and then you hover over, you've definitely beaten me 2 times. This was the Philidor, the Petrov, Hungarian Dutch defense. You beat me in the Dutch defense. And you beat me in the, yeah, you won 2 in a row. Strong. Let's look at the one where she beat me. So in this particular position, this is a reverse Stafford Gambit. What happened here? Oh yes, it was the reverse Stafford Gambit. This could also, by the way, come from our opening as well. 8-6, black is theoretically better. Oh no, that wasn't our game. Oh. It must have saved our notes, because I think we looked at that last time. And you beat me with this, of all things? Oh my god. That's terrible. I really suck. I don't recall how I lost this game. Oh yeah, now I do. Now I remember how I lost this game. It helps if I'm on the black side, of course, too. Yes, you did have a little bit of a whirlwind. I wasn't able to deal with the kingside stuff. Yep. And now I'm toast. I'm completely toast. I took the wrong way. I was only thinking about the kingside stuff. For whatever reason, I had this impression that I was going to be able to move my bishop and take the bishop on h6. But now, yeah, that was ugly. Oh, we went from the James Bond theme to No Time to Die? That's very funny. So today's game, we're not going to look at the first game that we played. Yep. Here, I'm just completely lost. Knight takes e6, queen takes e6, rook e1, queen f6, bishop e3. Castle's kingside would have been safer. I'm really asking for it now. So I wanted to play d5, and I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to take advantage of this pin. Maybe I didn't need to take advantage of the pin. Yeah, I don't like it. I liked what I did. What I did laid the foundation for the trap that ensued. So queen e2, and I just walk away. And you had queen to g4 check. That was what I remember. Queen to g4 check, driving me back, and then coming to this side of the board. So you had queen to g4 check. I have no choice but to go back. I don't really want to walk into this discovery at all. But still, this is actually what I was looking at. And this is a typical Alekhine type maneuver where you're going to use the entire board to attack the weaknesses, whether you're attacking c6 or a7. Yeah, queen to g4 check was the move. I thought you missed. The computer believes that you have bishop to d4. Nice positional approach. Probably I am dead lost. Well, after bishop d4, it feels that I have to give up my queen with rook on d to e8. Is that crazy? What is up with that? Finally, it allows me to save my queen, but the advantage is so severe that they're thinking that this is better. But how new is it? So finally it allows me to move my queen. Yeah, you're literally a queen up in this position, practically. And then you went for this singular weakness on this side of the board, and I bailed out, ran away. You fell for it, a little bit of a hook, line, or sinker. This was bad, yeah. Queen 2, I actually thought about this to ensure the trappage of the queen, which is something I considered earlier as well. Queen to g6 was terrible, and now all you have to do is just start pawn storming me, and my king side is going to my queen side is going to fall. I have nothing to say for myself. But queen takes a7 allows me all this counterplay. As a human being, I saw this coming. I'm like, this is a human move. And unfortunately, I sort of egged her on to go for this as well, but she has to trade pieces in this position and win the endgame. And if she trades bishops, you know, I'm completely toast. There's nothing I can do about this. I imagine I was going to try taking back with the pawn and try to get something on the g file. But, yeah, after this, the advantage is almost gone. I just have to barnacle a little bit. What a natural move. Again, a4, a5 probably was just wins. I have nothing to say about this. I have no weakness to attack. I have no weakness to attack. My rook can't move. It's tied down to a pawn. Sure, Alexongo. And we already know what happened here. Bishop takes f6. Rook takes queen. What? I don't get to play rook takes queen? Rook takes b7? That was my plan. If I played this way, I was supremely worried about Gegenspiel with rook to e7, but I guess there is none. I was truly worried about counterplay with this. But apparently there is none. Yeah, he did lose. But we can look at the types of mistakes that he made if you wanted to try to judge on that. The types of mistakes that he made. I want to look at it from my perspective. So I played a very straightforward Sicilian. H5 is Magnus Carlsen, by the way. This is all Magnus Carlsen. You could have won that tournament. Yep. It happens. How are you, Zephyr? Good morning. I mean, this is Magnus Carlsen. So far, I believe he's a strong player who wants to be Magnus Carlsen. I should have played g4 here. No doubt about it. I'm not sure why I played g3. I had this delusion that I was going to play f4 and e5. But, you know, I really don't think that everybody is cheating. I do think that everybody plays strong for certain periods of moves. So I've got an advantage. And right about now, this is where his true colors come in. Like, this was a terrible maneuver on my part, I admit. It was far worse than it appears because he reacted badly. He reacted badly to knight takes c6. This is perfectly reasonable, and then I hung everything here. because all he has to do is play rook to b8 straight away. I'm losing in so many ways. I'm losing my queen with check. I'm losing the knight on d5. I'm losing everything, basically. Doesn't matter which way I take. And my knight on d5 just has nowhere to go. And he has knight f4. Just very sad. Can't take on e7, king f8 traps my knight. Although it says that's my best move, to grab 3 pawns for the piece.
No more foreplay.
There's the third piece. Wandra Spassky, thank you for the subscription. 14 months, namaste. God bless you, Bezos. I know, I used mine for Arena to keep me from using it for all the other lesser streamers. Because the Prime is the one that I usually... But I will stay subscribed. But we need to see a little bit, or hear a little bit of Arena. I still maintain that we have to hear a little bit of Arena. I won't rest until I get to hear Arena's lovely voice. Now, I disagree with the continuation here. Bishop e8. Alright, so he's winning. Basically, if he finds the right continuation, he's winning. So he has the seeds of the variation after bishop to d6. And he gets fancy in a very human way. In fact, it does work. I think it works. What he did works in a very human way. It may not appear to work, but rook to b8, king h1. Oh, maybe it did not work. I take that back. King to a1 was stronger than I thought. For some reason, I miscalculated this. And everything works for me. Yes, no, I did miscalculate it. You think he did it on purpose? No, I think that we can look at his other games. I believe that he's a strong player that just got into an awkward opening. And when you get into an awkward opening, the purpose of the opening is to have you comfortable, not to create chaos, not to try to outplay the opponent in something they don't know, because you don't know it, you're in trouble, right? Mano a mano, person to person, human being to human being, the stronger player wins, so making a position chaos does not change anything. I'm in your walls. I don't think she sounds like Rogan at all, but there could be an accent that I don't know about. I think she has a lovely Dutch accent. I remember when I went to my local Chinese restaurant and the girl behind the counter spoke with the thickest Scottish accent ever. I was like, what in the world? I'd have to have her repeat everything. It wasn't, she was born in China, but she went to school, she moved when she was very young to Edinburgh, and she literally had the thickest Scottish accent, and everybody who, she didn't stay at the desk very long in my local Chinese restaurant. I do love both of you, Irina Chan. So yeah, it was very funny. You do have a lovely Dutch accent. So against, I guess that is Zephyr, who's talking about his game. So, interestingly enough, this is just a very unusual choice of openings for a computer. So I disagree that this is a computer. This could be Lina Beza returning, basically, because he is a very strong player and he should be about 2,300. I don't know that I could pinpoint this so much. But like I said, the purpose of the opening is to reach a playable, more comfortable position. And if you don't reach a playable, more comfortable position, life can get very awkward. Wow, also a queen up. Cashing in for the rook. Oh no, that's terrible. You have to keep the pin. Pin pieces don't do their jobs. You can take this at any time. Was there any reason to take this right away? Oh, that is possibly true. He did let his daughter play on his account, and I warned him about that. You have to watch out for that. I mean, for after all, we also have bishop takes a1 in this position. We've got so many different moves that win. But knight f5, what? I'm sorry, knight e2 check. Why does knight h5 turn out to be different? Knight h5, queen g3, rook a2. Winning. So this is the problem, right? Knight e2 check. King h1, g6. I mean, what is there to worry? What, us worry? This is a very strong pawn. Yeah, g6 is the human response. I don't necessarily know that I could play knight e2 and then play g6. The knight h5 is the most interesting move. This I could see myself playing. Interference. This looks like it should be good interference, except for the queen here, right? Interference, and then g6. And the king just moves. Ah, the king just moves. We never make it to d1. I wanted to drive the queen off of this square. Yeah, diligent daily training. In the latest, in one of the podcasts that Fabiano Caruana's podcast with Grandmaster drawing a blank on his name, begins with a C, Spanish Grandmaster, or maybe he's Argentinian, I apologize, but he talks about taking 30 days off from chess before the Olympiad, and then when he came to the Olympiad, he was shocked at how badly he was playing, and I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't touch chess for 30 days, you recharged your batteries. I mean, you can recharge your batteries, but you could recharge your batteries at 18 hours a day and only do like a couple of hours of chess. Just keep the engine running, as we do, right? Diligent daily training. Schedule it. Put it in your calendar. Just make sure you show up. Have a reason to play. Have a reason to play with a benchmark, which is even more important. Basically, just play with a benchmark. So what happened here with this, when bishop c6 happened? Yeah, bishop c6 did not look like a good move. I was just thinking how to stay on this file, right? But apparently knight to e2 check, craziness. It's practically mate. King to f2, bishop g3, king f3. Wow. Now, how many of us would find bishop f2 threatening queen g3? That's a cool move. Oh, hold on. Irina sent me emotes. Checking. We got distracted. Did you want me to swap out our heart? Wait. Yeah, 92. Yeah, the hard part for me, I could see knight e2. I could see bishop to g3. I'm not entirely positive that I would see bishop f2. I mean, if it's a puzzle, if I was told that this was a puzzle, I guess I would see it. Bishop h4 I would see. Yeah, this would be the human response. So the king has to go to h1, or the queen has to take on e2. And now what do we have, right? Didn't we just arrive at this? Weren't we here just 2 moves ago? Let's go here, right? Oh, because we play rook to d8. So knight e2 check. Oh, from f4. Got it. Yes, we do improve our position. So here, as Joe Rogan's here, Joe Rogan's here, and then we just simply start pushing our pawn because we are going to checkmate with bishop d4. We have a discovery on the rook. No, I mean, you could see it. I disagree that you have to see the whole variation. Stepping Stones, Grandmaster John Tisdale's book, Improve Your Chess Now. Tremendously great book. Stepping Stones is the first chapter to the analysis, and basically you see the possibilities expanding after a few lines of analysis. So basically, all you really need to see is, after bishop c6, knight e2 check wins the queen. First order of business. King f2, bishop g3 brings the king up to f3, and that's good enough for me. Like, I could stop here, right? I think everything should win in this position. And I don't know that I would need to see bishop f2 in this position. I could play rook e5, threatening anything. I could threaten rook e5, threatening a double. We could even just guard the knight with d3 as it wants us to. Almost everything wins. Knight takes c1 followed by rook to e3 also wins. And bishop f4 is fine as well. That would probably be the move that we would see, right? Because we want to put we would just want to put our queen on g3. It's mate with queen to g3. So if we didn't see bishop f2, we would have seen this. We could also have seen this followed by further things coming in, and then somehow we would make our way in. I love how you can click on this line of analysis. Does he have to take on e3? King g4, yes, and then it's made all over again. With with queen h4. h5 check, I could see. Mate in one, anyone? There's hardly any stopping it. Yeah, I would see this. Now we have 27 more parent-teacher conferences today. 27 more glorious parent-teacher conferences today. Her Japanese playlist or mine? I think this is a Mandarin playlist for what you say, but at least you didn't say Oriental. Meanwhile, so this is a test on Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. The other day I got a mute the stream one. And I think it was because on Saturday my wife was playing music in the backyard and the stream was picking up the music from the backyard, so it muted my stream at various points. And it probably took out my voice. All right. You can do that with a tier 3 subscription. You'll be there in a heartbeat. A tier 3 subscription counts for 3 channel points, by the way, toward emotes. Shout out your wife, exactly. So meanwhile, let me just do that. Channel points. Channel points. I believe I have a lesson tonight at 7 after all this day. Why did Zephyr get mated here? Oh, not here. Zephyr got into trouble because of So here's the moment of truth. I'm sorry you didn't see the X-ray defense. This is a beautiful X-ray. That's what I thought you were going to play when I saw us going into it. This is a good enough reason to come in. And obviously we have to scarf up the knight, so this line is forced. Wow, it believes in this move. Pinning and promoting. Now, how is this even remotely equal? So I guess bishop f4 to try to trap the knight. Prevent any trouble. Bishop to b8 to keep the knight trapped. Could have been anything, though. Walk away, I will always love you. I don't, h5, h4 to save the knight. So I'm curious if Ardent chose version of Wrecking Ball here. We need more Japanese music. Marina Saito is Japanese, yes, but no, we have more Mandarin. I thought about using Irina's stream as the backdrop for my stream because her music choices are so good, but she's not doing any videos on demand. She's not saving the videos, so I think she's in the clear. As long as she never saves a video on demand, she's good. Oh no. But without your voice and without your visage, I don't know that it's important for you to save. So rook takes c4, rook to d1. Are we escaping? I believe we're escaping with our knight, right? So for example, on this one, rook takes, gotta put it here, and then are we really winning? This is too close to call, honestly. I know it's an advantage for white, but this is a very strong pawn structure. Unless we're just scarfing all of these pawns. Is that the story? Yeah, rook to d7, that's a stronger move. Got it. So how did Zephyr actually lose this game? g6. Our dark squares are weak. The dark squared bishop is dangerous. And white can even win more clearly with queen takes c8, rook c8, and king h1. So therefore, I don't think that this person is, these are all very human moves, playing for the checkmate. Absolutely human moves, playing for the checkmate. See, even this one, bishop d5, is a very logical and obvious move to play, and it's very human as well. That secures a serious advantage. However, this is a perfectly human concept right here. Everything here, theoretically thinking that you're going to get there from scratch or whatever. Oops. Yeah, queen to g6 even would be better. Queen to g6, just batten down the hatches, double rooks, or threaten to play rook e1 check. Rook on f to d8. Just get there. Unfortunately, we move here and we're mated in 2 moves. Okay, maybe it's not mated in 2 moves. And the opponent didn't find it. I'm not looking at that one. Wow. You never played this continuation? Yeah, this is it. This is the main line. Oh, the other continuation. Sorry, I look back. Ouch. Answering the check with a check. That was very cruel. You'd think that you're saving everything here, but you're answering the check with a check. Nope, so far in the clear. Our cargo. Could be S cargo. Look at that S cargo. What did the R? Well, what is the joke? Look at that S cargo. What did the R say to the... Look at that S cargo. One of those silly children's jokes. R cargo. I believe this is Lynn Albeza. S cargo. He is returned with a new account. And also because he's not going to do anything untoward. For whatever reason, whatever happened, maybe, just maybe, he had the engine up in the background. For example, if I have another window with an engine up, Lichess doesn't really allow you to have an engine up if you're using the same browser, but you could have another browser window up, in theory. You know? and it's going to detect the engine. Because they talk about having cheating software in the background. Chess.com talks about, and it's possible that the daughter messed it up. Yep. And it's how often you switch in and switch out from the account. Like I said, I remember one algorithm, or part of the algorithm that chess.com theoretically uses, is being able to see how many times you switch between tabs, or you tab away from your thing. Like if you're doing it every move for the same amount of time or anything like that. So if it's on the same machine, you're definitely screwed. And I'm not sure about any other means to a certain extent. I believe if you have an engine anywhere on the network, yeah, I believe in it too. So far, I've not had any untoward experiences. But yeah, yesterday we did get credit for our loss. I don't know what kind of credit we got, but we definitely got credit for Lomineishvili. I think it was only 4 rating points. Unfortunately, it all stands, right? The tournament result stands, even though yeah, but didn't Lynn play a variety of different openings? I mean, I change openings by the week, don't I? I haven't changed off of E5 yet. I've been answering E4 with E5 for a couple of weeks now. I switched from the Caracon to the French to E5. I don't know what's next. I actually did a week of Alekine's defenses. I did a bit of Dutch. I did a bit of Benko Gambit. I did about a month and a half of Grunfeld, off and on, depending on what happens. And I did some Benoni's, yes. And I've done a lot of Nimzo Indians prior to Arena being in the stream. I did a lot of Nimzo Indians. To me, the Nimzo Indian is the easiest of all the openings. Basically, black is just equal, and there's no problems at all. There are absolutely no problems. The reason why people are playing the London is because of the Nimzo Indian. All of the variations of the Nimzo Indian equalize for black. Nimzovich's legacy is intact. Yeah, the results, unfortunately, were not reversed. But I do know that he is a strong opponent, and he lost all of his references here. Oh, you know what? He closed his account after the terms of service violation. That way you don't see it. You didn't know that? You don't know what a rabbit looks like? You have to be able to pick the rabbit? No, the terms of service were violated because we received our... someone we reported was banned. And I got 4 rating points back for that loss. But I didn't report Lomineishvili. What? I did not report Lomineishvili. Is that really what it said? The other person that I reported, let's just go back. Let's go back to the other person. The other person that I reported was this one. Ah, bookends. So it was this person. It was the first round person that was bad. Remember Rasula chats yesterday. I would report her for distracting me. I mean, the great thing about it, everyone, is that when you play rated games, especially when I play rated games, all of the games are automatically analyzed. So everyone that I play against is already computer checked. And I'm sure they're computer checking me. They have a nice basis for me. God forbid. Let's just say that if I were a strong player, 2700, and I had my account closed for suspicion of cheating, and I refused to admit that I was cheating because I wasn't cheating. Why would I admit that I was cheating in order to get my account back? That's basically what they do to you. You can have your account back if you admit that you're cheating. It's sort of like, if you drown, then you're a witch, right? So therefore, you have the best of both worlds. You can either admit you're a witch and be sentenced to death, or you get tested by being submerged in the river for 1 hour, and if you survive, you're a witch, and then you get put to death, and if you don't survive, then you are cleared. So basically, yeah, I'm like, why would anyone ever admit that they're cheating if they're not cheating? Why? Because they are so addicted to chess.com, they don't have any other recourse. They paid what I paid, $99 a year. I think I've already lost to Sloan, by the way. I'm positive that I've already lost to Sloan. My account expired November 7th. Let's see what I can do to go over to Chess24. I'm not even eligible for Puzzle Rush anymore, right? Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Am I even eligible for Puzzle Rush? We'll do a smidgen of Puzzle Rush just to see. Now, this is the first time I've ever played Puzzle Rush, and I did not have about 15 back rank mates. Now, I disagree with that particular puzzle because you have to show some technique in winning that endgame. So here, oh, black to move. Check. You would think, oh, here we go. Now we're back to the chess.com mates. These puzzles, as my students have pointed out, are way too easy. The back rank mate again. Like they stop early on the... So I'm allowed 5 free puzzles a day as a chess.com subscriber, right? Wait. Hold on, let's just see something here. Is my account still in action? Because I registered as a streamer, did they not expire my account? Second place trophy in what? Oh, in Rogan's arena, yes. So meanwhile, club activity, post... messages. Are you ready to try premium for free? Yeah, they got me. So my account did expire. I am officially free. I have 7. I still have 2 new messages. Are these 2 new? I guess those were the 2 new messages. I really need to unsubscribe to these messages. There's absolutely nothing here when people write a note on a club. How does one unsubscribe to messages? One time per day? Oh, okay. That's good to know. So that I've left it. We'll go back to Puzzle Rush Survivor. Now that I've left it, let's see if I can continue. We're going back. But I already started a Puzzle Rush Survivor. Okay, it remembered where I was. Now I'm going to close this window. We'll do 10 today, we'll do 10 tomorrow. We'll see how it works. Does it remember my Puzzle Rush Survivor skills? Alright. Then we'll go to Chessable. For a little bit, we'll do 1001 Brilliant Ways to Checkmate. You don't need Puzzle Rush Survivor if you've got 1001 Brilliant Ways to Checkmate. Which is, of course, a very brilliant way to checkmate. This is a very cool one. I remember this one. Now there's something very, very cool about this. I'm trying to remember what it is. Is it King to G2? No. It's Knight F2. Knight F2 and Bishop F4. That's a very cool one, yeah? Oh, they want me to mate with the bishop. Blackburn's mate. SLK Chess. Sorry, whistling again. Thank you, Arena. Well, you'll be able to stop me faster as a co-streamer. And I was actually thinking about it as a professional. I was thinking I should have the masked co-streamer. Alright, I didn't find the emotes, Arena. Did you email them to me? Oh, have I not used your new emotes? Hold on, you didn't send them to me on Discord. but they're on your channel. That's what I should do. I love Hi. Oh, that is perfect. I love it. I use the Hi emote from Z-Bean. Oh, I no longer need to subscribe to Z-Bean for her Hi emote. No, I use her Hi. Use her Hi or hello emote. She's got a great animated emote for Hi. But I like yours. Hi and bye. I'm trying to remember whose bye emote that I use. But we're going to check out Irina's, and it'll be in my frequently used emotes. Wait, you replaced the other one? I like wow. Featuring her dog. Very, very cute. That is totally awesome. SLK Chess. Let's give SLK a shout out. I believe that anyone can give SLK a shout out with exclam SLK. So meanwhile, Queen to G5. Drawing a blank on this one. For some strange reason, I'm drawing a blank. Queen H6. G takes. I need to decoy the queen first, but I can't allow queen to E1 mate. What could this one be? I'm drawing a blank, everybody. Rook takes E8 runs into bad stuff, so it must be Queen H6. Queen F6. Rook E8. And then the standard mate in 3. 1, 2, and 3. Standard discovered mate in 3. Or the bishop takes H7 mate in 4. However you look at it. Very good, SLK. Thank you. Takes. I believe it's bishop to G5. Wow, I can't believe that I've forgotten all of these already. So it's this one. First we have to play pawn takes pawn. No! Or we play queen takes pawn. Is that an alternative? Not even an alternative. No, forget that. Yes, you did. No renewals on this. 69 is a good place to leave it off. Everybody loves a good 69. Check, check. Oh yeah, queen takes it, b5. Oops. No! Alright, I'm wiping out left and right. If I don't get it, I don't want it to appear in my difficult moves list because I'm a pro. By the way, I don't want it to appear there. Salakai is still very active. Merpant. This is not Magnus Carlsen, by the way. Ron Hay. Let's get with it, Ron. Endgame strategy. b4. And we need to fight for the opposition because we have the outside pass pawn. This is Arena Chan's game right here. I just need to spend a whole day doing chessable. That's what I really need to do. My primary exercises. No, it's an inherent part of the playlist. It's just pleasant music. It's just pleasant music.
I'm a motherfucking train wreck. I don't wanna be too much, but I don't wanna miss your touch. And you don't seem to give up. I don't wanna keep you waiting, but I do just what I have to do, and I might not be.
I think if I accidentally have that one in the stream, I can't make a thing child-friendly. So this is not a child-friendly stream at the moment. So meanwhile, these new ones don't know. Indeed. Well, since I started streaming to YouTube, I've been a little bit more... What's the right word? I've been a little bit more... Yeah, this one is not child-friendly, exactly. So we're leaving that one right there. We're going to return to this one. Let's try to think before we do anything here. E4. What in the world? Oh, never mind. I know what it is now. Silly me. I know what it is now. We're going to do 29 of these. We have to remove the defender this way. We skewer through the queen to get to the bishop. And this way we can get in to the back rank. I think I just played knight f5 because mate can't be stopped. I cry. If I play bishop takes, the king moves over. 69 is a great number. I don't know, So is it knight f5 first? Queen to g3. So if check, king g3, check, king f3. Yes, it was knight f5. On knight f3, of course it's knight f2 checkmate. That much I saw, but I wasn't entirely positive. So let's just analyze a little further. Oh no, I can't bring up the analysis board in the same window. It had to come up over there. That's the drawback. I do know. So let's just look at this for a moment. If queen to g3, just knight takes g3? Or do I just play rook takes, queen takes, and then knight f2? I'm sorry that it didn't actually play that one out. Rook takes, queen takes, knight f3, king to g3. No good. So if queen to g3, knight takes g3, anything takes, then rook takes, and I'm just winning? I don't know, it doesn't lead, I mean, obviously we're positionally winning, but is it that clear? Oh, you're right. So if you're right, there's no king g3 because of this knight. Exactly. So it is rook takes h2, queen takes h2, and knight f2 mate. Thank you so much. No nonsense. I dragged him out. Rook takes h2 indeed. Some of these... These are not mates, though, mind you. On promotion. On promotion exercise. I don't have enough time for a simul, as I have parent-teacher conferences shortly. But I do have time to do an instructional stream with The Art of the Attack. Shuri Spielman, black to play in an open variation. So where are we in this? Let's just finish one more. This looks like it should just be game over. Let's just make certain of this. F2 first. Is he getting away? I don't get it. Is he getting away if I play rook h6? All of these are from actual games, yes. All of these are from actual games. The previous one was from Mandel, Jonner, Switzerland, 1930. And the one before that was Kabi Lanka, Tunis. By going to the main page, I was able to see it. Oh. Is there Gegenspiel here? Uh-oh. On rook h6, he has the death-defying and dreaded rook to c7. That's no good. So is this interference? We don't really need this knight, as long as we always have f3, right? So it's interference. We're threatening knight e2 checkmate. And now, for something completely different, we're threatening knight e2 mate and rook h6. Can the pawn be caught? This is almost a chess.com alternative when we can just block, I guess. Well, let's see, we have how many variations? 726. We'll do one more and leave ourselves at 725. Rook h6, rook c6, rook c7 check. Yeah, you're absolutely right. No nonsense. Absolutely. I love the informant badges, by the way. I love all of our dojo badges. They are so awesome. Let's just give Salakai a shout out for those dojo badges. I feel like I needed to give him an overdue lesson. So we're winning this queen, right? That's what I feel like. We're winning the queen. But how are we winning the queen? If he plays rook to g8 check, then he has king h7. Oh, then I could just play rook takes g6. Is that the story? Well, this is the most forcing move to get him to move to a white square. If he plays king f6, we play rook takes g6. Maybe the target is not the queen anymore. Oh, you are terrible, Quadraspassky. Alright, I have an idea. I know how to do it. See if this works. Oh, you think it was her? I think she came because of the music. That is true. I had about 1/3 to... I do need to look for some new covers. I agree with you, Chris. She didn't change me in this direction. She changed me in other ways. Aha! In this particular position, we're threatening rook h8 check, and then it's going to be made that way. Right? That was a very weird shift. Yeah, I thought about queen f3 too, but then I realized we can attack two weaknesses. We can attack the pawn on h6. Basically, if the rook moves, rook takes g6 was the alternative. And we just take a free rook. So this was the game, this was analysis from the game. Karpov Hubner, whose birthday was the other day. Heading back, we're at 725. 69, and of course we have my book, all of my exercises. So these are basic fork exercises. Can do some auto next. Or do we want to do auto next? We're going to do 8. These are also all from real games. backwards movements, forks. Now let's just turn it off so we can finish at 12:20.
Well, we didn't even plan that.
No, we didn't.
Nice. Good job.
10:20. Sorry, 3 more. I remembered where I was on that screen.
See, I never thought that I could walk through fire. I never thought that I could take the burn. I never had the strength to take it higher.
10:20.
Until I reached the point of no return.
So yeah, this is definitely my primary exercise, is being able to do these in a short amount of time based on the woodpecker method is priceless. Etc. and so on. Yep. We will go to the lead chess study.
Never say never. Never say never. Never say never.
And
Never say it. Never thought that I could feel this power.
I can pull out this highlight
Never thought that I could feel this free.
if needed.
Strong enough to climb the highest tower. And I'm brave enough to run across the sea. Oh, and there's just no
Is that one? No, my studies. Art of the Sacrifice. I will never say never. Shori Spielman. We're going to look at a game where he is black. We need to be black. And we need the stream title. Shori's Spielman. Let me just grab it from here. Copy. Save chapter. Stream title. Shori Spielman, Art of the Sacrifice, study stream. Change our stream title. And we need our timer. Where's our timer? There it is. So we have our timer, we have our stream title set, we have our everything set. We have a brand new song coming in. We just need a starting screen. We could say good afternoon, grasshoppers, as we're about to start our study stream for Shori's versus Spielman. Basically, Black to Move and Win, featuring the ever so popular sacrificial maestro, Rudolf Spielman. Basically, Spielman was a classical player. He answered D4 with D5 much of the time, and he created a lot of art. He also answered D4 with D5, and he utilized, as we will see in the next stream, he utilized the Tarrasch defense with a great effect. So basically, in E4, E5 games, you mastered grasping the center and hanging on to the center. And this is where every chess player must firmly achieve their foundations. I remember International Master / Grandmaster-elect Michael Brooks It was one of my early influences. Answered e4 with e5 much of his career and became a grandmaster. He never really experimented with a lot of things. He also played and dabbled with the Sicilian, but in general, he was a d4 player until he became 2200, and then he switched to e4, and then he cut a swath through everyone. So he played very solid, very steady chess, and he knew a lot about everything. The most dangerous threat to the e5 repertoire is still the Ruy Lopez, with the idea of removing the defender. On move number 3, the simple tactic, removing the defender. Now, Jonathan Spielman, who is a good friend, is a candidate for the World Championship in I think it was 1981. In the 1980s, he was a candidate for the World Championship. Gamer guy seems a little on the nose. But no, this is Rudolf Spielman. There is a little bit of a resemblance, but Jonathan Spielman's name is Speelman. In any event, Spielman, of course, answers with Morphy's defense. Now, Morphy's defense was around before Paul Morphy, but Paul Morphy introduced the concept of not playing b5, only playing b5 when it was needed. So, for example, if we play b5 too soon, this becomes a little bit something called a wing variation. And these pawns can be undermined with a4 and c3 if the pawns should progress, and then black has incredible weaknesses in his pawn structure on the queen side. So Paul Morphy went with the restraint of counterattacking the center a la Morphy. And after the castles, there are two major branches of theory here. In fact, now I think there are four major branches of theory. We've got the Arkhangelsk variation, which is what I tend to prefer now, with bishop to c5. Very, very popular. You have the immediate b5 followed by bishop to c5, which is the Arkhangelsk variation. You have b5 and bishop to b7 with immediate counterplay on e4. You have the deferred Steinitz variation, but all of these closed variations should be treated the same, and Spielman preferred the open variation. And I dabbled with the open variation briefly. I got my head handed to me a few times. Black's position is extremely loose and requires great skill. But if you are going to challenge white, the open variation, unfortunately, has a number of variations where equality can be achieved. And it's very hard to win with black if white plays very dryly. The best variation to play for a win, the time-honored d4 threatens the e5 pawn, and now is the right moment to counterattack. And the main line has begun. So there are 3 or 4 major moves with white. I'm going to flip the board, and I'm going to actually go for candidates for white. I prefer Smyslov's move from the 1950s, by the way. Give me a moment to get some coffee. Anyone who needs more time. Are there 5? I definitely know there are 4 solid variations against this. So there are only 4 truly good moves approaching this variation, and all of them are a matter of taste. Gary Kasparov played one of the more offbeat variations. In his day. And now, the British Spielman. I still can't get over that. So, in order of appearance, there is c3, which is played in this particular game, which is designed against knight c5, allowing the bishop to fight for the long diagonal. This is a common theme in the Ruy Lopez. And today, the most popular move is challenging the e4 knight directly with knight on b to d2. Garry Kasparov, in his landmark book, The Test of Time, where he analyzed previously published games as a world champion to see how his opinions and approach to various positions changed from not being a world champion or a rising star as an international master and young grandmaster to after he became world champion. The test of time was to see how many of the variations stood up. And early in that book, he actually plays bishop e3 as he advocates for its prevention of bishop c5 and the variation that goes along these lines. This variation is extremely popular. Basically, or is it after black castles? This variation doesn't look so popular, but oh, it happens here. Yes, it happens here. Then knight takes c2, bishop takes f2, and I was on the white side of this in a very long-winded game, and basically black gets a lot of counterplay. White's main move that they have to know about is knight f1. Black gets a huge pawn center in return for rook on an open file versus two minor pieces that are not very active. So in any event, going back to the main line position, the move played by Smyslov and I think experienced its birth around the 1950 candidates tournament. Not Zurich 1953, but I think in 1950, Smyslov played queen e2 with the idea that he would be playing rook to d1, and when black castles, he would fight for the center with c4. This completely undermines the white squared weaknesses, and this position is still good to this day. Quite logical. Queen e2 and rook d1 and c4. The first time I played this variation against the Grandmaster was 1988 in the US Open versus Grandmaster Alex Fishbein. a4 is a move, by the way. a4 is a move, it's just not one of the most popular moves. So in this particular position, a4, if I had to choose a move, would be the 5th most popular move. Let's just check up here. It says it's totally equal. Stockfish, anyway. The problem with a4 is that black can just close down the queen side, and it's a very committal move, Eric. So let's just take a step back for a moment of coaching thought. There are 3 types of moves that you can never take back. I can only think of 2 of them at the moment. But you cannot take back captures. You cannot take back exchanges. Okay, because the piece won't come back onto the board. If you choose to exchange off a bishop, you're not getting the bishop back. And you cannot take back pawn moves. Pawn moves are very committal moves once you've made those pawn moves. Yeah, pawn moves, castling you cannot take back so easily. It takes it's an extreme extraction. Yeah, you have to, you could accidentally be misplacing 2 pieces with castling. No nonsense, it's pointed out. I think castles is the 3rd move. Castling is a hugely committal move, which takes a tremendous effort to undo. Putting your king on the wrong side of the board, very difficult. So you have to think very carefully about any exchange. Those are critical things. Any pawn move, and any decision to put your king on one side of the board or the other. Thank you, no nonsense. Castles is the 3rd one, yes. The most obvious and natural move, castles. Absolutely. So as it turns out in this particular position, so we're going to return to black in this particular position as the main line move is c3, and this was always thought to be the main line move. Bishop c5 as advertised. And in this particular moment, white does not choose the standard knight on b to d2, allowing that variation again. I'm just trying to remember what the name of the variation was called, the Dilworth variation. Entire books have been dedicated. Huge amounts of work has been allocated to the Dilworth variation. It's such a beautiful thing, I even wanted to play it. I believe you can even try to play f6 immediately, because the rook isn't going anywhere. So after f6, knight f1, bishop takes f2 as this reaches the same position. And Stockfish has this as slightly better for black. Therefore today, most people do not play c3 on move number 9. Most people play knight on b to d2. So after c3, bishop c5, knight on b to d2, the Dilworth variation is extremely dangerous. In this particular game, however, after bishop c5, white chooses a move to disturb the balance that Eric Quito has already referenced. Basically, pawn moves, breaking up the pawn structure, and of course we already know what we would like to do in this particular position. I have a descriptive notation book, ironically, so I'm just going to take a little bit of extra care. And as I mentioned before, the ideal answer to this, Spielman finds b4, keeping lines closed, refusing to weaken those squares. Now white has several choices. This position is relatively even chances for both sides. By the way, equal does not mean draw. This position is not a draw. It is equal chances to win for both sides. So after queen to e2, castles, bishop c2, already the challenge has been thrown down. Now, Spielman does not play the best move in this position, but we are going to do candidates for black. Got to get going here, everybody. We need candidates for black. Candidate moves for black in this position. How best to answer white's intended bishop takes e4, which may or may not be winning a pawn. But it will be obtained in the bishop pair. Last call. B takes c3, obviously. And B takes c3. And c takes b2 would answer bishop e4. Now, Spielman chooses the extra radical move f5. The extra radical f5, interestingly enough. However, for whatever reason, b takes c3 does not appear on the radar, because I think white just recaptures with the knight and we lose a lot of time. Yeah, white just recaptures with the knight and black is very, very loose in the center. We have 3 pawn islands. We have the island of the CD island, the isolated A pawn island, and the 3 pawns on the kingside island, whereas white has 2 pawn islands, A, B, and E through H. And so therefore our endgame is looking a little loose, and our pieces are going to have to defend weak pawns, which is unfortunate. So therefore Spielman chooses, in this particular position, not the best move. After all, Bruce, our silicone friend, believes that bishop f5 is the right idea. but honestly, any move will do in this position. To be honest, f5, as played by Spielman, relates to e takes f6, queen takes f6. Tremendous amounts of pressure. We know that Spielman was all about the art of the attack. So this variation suits him very, very well. And the opponent takes it hook, line, and sinker. So, there's some threats. Yeah, that's okay. By the way, Lichess has improved their coordinates drill to not having a 30-second timer. Under the Learn section, choose coordinates for white or for black, and work on those coordinates for yourself. By the way, you will analyze deeper, better, and more accurately if you work on your coordinates. I don't necessarily know that it will improve anyone by 100 rating points, because your calculation skills could be shite, but they're worth working on. So here we are, candidates for black. Candidates for black in this position. How best to answer all of white's threats and improve our position and coordinate our pieces. Moment of truth. Now already black has 3 very active minor pieces. A queen and a rook on an open file bearing down on f2. The knight could theoretically be pinned. It is the knight on c6 that is being tagged as a weakness. And only the rook on a8 needs to be brought into the game. So the conditions are ready. Yeah. Watch out for the check on d5. Bishop f5, queen d5 check picks up the bishop on c5. So there's more than one weakness that is. Both of these pieces are unprotected. So therefore, if you already needed more time, you've already paused. But bishop to b3 is the strongest move available in the position. Spielman, of course, plays for it and immediately starts to prepare an attack on the open e file. He takes care of the weakness or the weakened position of the knight, and at the same time prevents white's rook from reaching a good square, or at least the only other good square other than e1. So after bishop to b3, white in this position doesn't really find the best move. White should also develop with bishop to g5. Instead, white tries to lock in that pawn, that bishop on that file. Rook to d8, knight e7, yes. Going back to Erikito's suggestion, knight e7. Right. Exactly. There's no discovery after rook d8. Queen takes c6, bishop d5, because queen takes f6 simplified. So in this particular position, we're going for candidate moves for black. We're going to get as much out of this as we can, everyone. Shuri Spielman, Skivenigan, 1905, and that is roughly the correct pronunciation of Skivenigan. Without getting into any horrid details. Remember, the same threats that were present in the previous position are still here. There's one move that is better than all the others, which seem to lead to white's advantage. So black is walking a little bit of a tightrope in order to achieve this very short win. Believe it or not, this is a very short win. What is wrong with rook on a to d8? How are we saving our position after queen d3? I'm sorry. Rook on a to d8. Sorry. Bishop to g5 could be a little bit of a problem after rook on a to d8. All right, Irina. You're going to have to give me a better Scheveningen pronunciation. How far from Scheveningen is Groningen? My Dutch, I've never studied Dutch. What can I say? I'm less lucky I can pronounce Max Oiva. And it's not the best pronunciation of Max Oiva either. I wouldn't say my pronunciation was horrible. People mispronounce it far worse. 250 kilometers. Wow. So knight to d4, the knight to d4 is the third best move in the position, having let Bruce sit upon it for a little while. But Spielman finds the rather prosaic, I'm just going to guard everything and make sure that there's no counterplay. In other words, as I mentioned in a previous study, John Nunn in his Secrets of Grandmaster Play mentioned that any counterplay by the opponent is too much counterplay. Any microscopic amount. Therefore, if the opponent is having fun, we're doing something wrong. And every... what's the right word? Every step should be taken to restrict the opponent's opportunities. So white does play knight on b to d2, and we do get rook on a to d8 in. And we don't really want to lose any material with queen d5. We have the x-ray defense of this with after queen takes, pawn takes, and bishop takes, and we're down material as white. So white doesn't have much choice in this position. It is pretty much game over. So any sacrifice that happens after this, white chooses to tuck the queen away to the only theoretically safe square. After all, if queen to g4, then we have opportunities to recover our bishop to this side of the board. We also have possibilities of playing rook to f4. And we can also bother the queen with h5 and many other lines. So, interestingly enough, queen h4, bishop c2 is also an option. So he keeps the bishop restricted. This is his primary goal, to keep the bishop restricted. Yeah, it's like the desert you. So here we are. Candidates for black. Candidates for black. Remember, you're looking for three very, very good moves. And then you need to compare those three good moves for the better move, the best move, and perhaps the god-awful ugly move, which we cannot help ourselves. We are going to consider those moves every now and then. Remember Eric Kito's suggestion of sacking the knight on f6 to try to trap the queen, but then only trading queens. Too bad. But like I said, throw three moves out there. Certainly make sure that you look for three moves. Sun Chaser, how are you, sir? Great to have you, man. Yeah, b4 is still covered after any exchanges like that, right? Exactly. So here we go. No, we just need to strip. As Irina pointed out, d4 is still covered, so we need to start stripping those pieces away from the defense of the d4 square, and c4 was an atrocious move on the primary basis of that. In this particular position, the number one threat was to the bishop on c3, so almost all of our moves need to be keeping white busy as far as attacks on f2, f3, or on the two center squares. So knight e5 should and could be able to work because of the stripped nature of the defenses around the king side. After all, if knight to e5, knight takes b3 would be fatal, because knight takes f3, g takes f3, rook takes f3 is practically checkmate. There's just no way to bring any of the pieces back to this side of the board. Say king to g2, queen to e6. Wow. We're nearly getting mated by a pawn, but it will be a rook in the end. So, knight e5 is a pretty good candidate move. Sun chaser, the knight attacking the bishop. Yeah, you have to be very... Rook e2, by the way, sun chaser was a pretty good move. You do keep enough counterplay, but it's probably not exactly enough. This falls in line with Irina Chan's suggestion, where she wanted to get some back rank action. Yes, I did say that correctly. Back rank action. Very popular chess term. No, you were suggesting, what was it? Rook takes f3, knight takes f3, and d4 is covered. But in the seed of that idea, I saw the attack on f2 and the weakness of the first rank. That wasn't you? Oh, that was no nonsense. You're right. It was no nonsense, this idea. So, just have I have Irina on the brain. So knight to d4 was played, which somewhat strips away the defenses. Now white flails about here, attempting to achieve some counterplay, but this falls viciously. The knight takes f3 check, g takes f3, queen to g6, king h1. And now we have one more theoretical decision to make. Candidates for black. How to continue in this position. There are a number of ways to continue. There's a lot of material on offer here. The rook on f1 is hanging. The H file and G file are beckoning. The bishop on c5 is hanging. Yeah, the fact that knight f3 check is key there, yeah. Well, always it's the principle of the highest order of defense. I'm going to run through, see if that command is still here. The 5 most important methods of defense, and you have to really master the 2 that are not dealing with check. For example, you can block a check, you can capture the piece that's checking you, and you can run away from a threat. But grandmasters make certain that all of their stuff is protected inherently against any future attacks. Masters and grandmasters have an inherent understanding of whether or not a piece is or will be threatened and take steps against it. And they also do not flinch from attack. So in other words, when something is attacked, they had appropriately planned for a suitable counterattack. A good offense is better, yes. Sun Chaser has knocked it with rook takes f3. And of course, the knight on c5 is a passive, I'm sorry, the bishop on c5 is a passive sacrifice. If knight takes c5, I would say we could look for black's turn to move in that position. That is a much deeper bit of analysis. Does he even cover it here? He really does not cover it. Oh, he covers it a different way. If knight takes bishop x. Wow. He gives the line, if knight takes bishop. Then bishop to c2. Which is certainly very, very convincing. Once that queen is sentenced, then we can actually start threatening checkmate in a variety of ways. Bruce, however, also believed in the discovered attack possibilities of queen to c6, which also seem extremely difficult to meet. We have to get off the file and it's just a free piece. But it's not the same at all, not the same as Spielman's suggestion, which is the strongest move. If the knight were to take and we were going to shut down the queen, and it will be made without any of those pieces. We have 3 attackers, enough to sacrifice 1 and checkmate with the remaining move. So here we are. After rook takes f3, white chose to move rook to e1. And with the move rook to e1, we now have another choice. I think I saw Irina not play a move based on this tactic in her 3-minute game yesterday. So we'll give several choices for black here. Even though I don't think you need several choices for black in this position, we're going to discuss it anyway.
You got a brother dreaming. Dang baby, I'm a beaming. I'm trying to holler at you, I'm screaming. Let me love you down this evening. Love you, yeah, you know you're my demon.
Rook takes f2 indeed. So here we're taking advantage of the pin. There's a lot of stuff going on. We could actually play for attacks on this diagonal. We could capture the pawn, which is the obvious move. However, rook takes f2 takes advantage of the fact that the knight cannot do its job on the back rank. The rook takes f2. And taking advantage of a pin, I know Irina had it in her game. She literally did not take advantage of a pin. In an earlier tournament this week, someone captured the pinned piece rather than continuing to take advantage of its powerlessness. Don't exchange off your opponent's material when it is ineffective. Your bishop or whatever piece might be pinning that piece is far more valuable than the piece that is unable to move. Now, relative pins, of course, are always dangerous. This is indeed a relative pin because the knight can move with check, and the rook could take on e8 if it weren't protected, and that would be awkward. But in this particular case, because it's a relative pin that's effective, we get to see white flail about just as we mentioned, right? So bishop to g5. Suggestions for black. That's all right. This is exactly what we're doing. We're comparing our moves to that of our great predecessor, Rudolf Spielmann, in The Art of the Attack. By the way, the cover piece for The Art of the Attack that I chose for this stream was what my book looked like when I went through the book cover to cover. That was the cover of the book. as I had the old Tartan series. I had a whole series of these books. These are all tartan covers. They have a little price tag up here with the company logo. And they were absolutely a dream. I would love an entire library of tartan books over any hardcovers and paperbacks any day. Resign, John. I do have to resign in 2 minutes, unfortunately, because I need to be on Zoom at 8 a.m. promptly, and I need to make coffee. So, did we do our candidate moves for black? Queen f5 certainly is seemingly effective, but remember you have to watch out for knight f6 check. No one, we have to sneak around the other way with the rook protected. We need that rook protected. So for example, if we play queen to f5, that knight f6 check affords black just a little bit of counterplay. Just a little bit of counterplay, unfortunately. But as it turns out, after queen h5, white does try the exact same thing. And after pawn takes, our queen is no longer hanging, which is key, right? There's no longer queen takes queen. After all, having the queen on f5 was the downfall of that suggestion. So that after rook takes, there is no more counterplay. After king f7. And that was a very efficient win in 25 moves or less. I have a study plan involving almost every book, going through the games of every chapter, illustrating the themes. If you want to speed read a chess book, I usually go through every book, seeing what games end in 20x moves or less. And for black to win, I will go through every book with every game ending in 32 moves or less, which is not so sufficient if you're studying an endgame book. Doesn't really work out that well. But the threats of mate on h2 and this diagonal are not so easily parried. So basically, if h4, then queen to f3 check. Queen to f3 check, followed by mate. So if h4, whoops, queen f3, and thank you very much. Thanks everyone for being here. We do need a raid. Yeah, queen h5. Who are we raiding? To end this stream, as I only have minutes, less than minutes, as it turns out, in this stream. We're going to go to my favorite. Jack Sarkisian? We haven't done Jack in a while. Please enjoy the Aussie Jack Sarkisian himself. There's more than one. Add you on WhatsApp. Did you send me a message? Hold on. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Read the DMs. I will. Thank you, man. Meanwhile, back to ranch. Thank you, Quadraspassky, for the subscription, for the raid. It's Arena Chan. And have a great day. Enjoy. Cheers and ciao.